Hi guys! Today I decided to do a very raw video, so no makeup today, and I also won't edit this video, so yeah, I hope that you will like it, and let's go. I will have the time in mind so I don't talk for too long. So let's go with a Q&A. Whoop. Okay, so I asked on my Instagram and I got so many questions, so I think we have to do another one soon. I will start with the ones that I screenshotted, so quite a lot. So, self-love tips. How to start, what is self-love for you? How did you start? I think I wasn't really aware of the topic of self-love. It's something that came only recently to my mind. I think especially during the last year. And I think self-love has a lot to do with accepting who you are. And for me personally, I struggled a lot with thinking that I am enough or that I'm not worse than others. Does that make sense? Like, comparison used to be such a big thing in my life, and now it isn't anymore because I know that nobody is me. And I think that's like the biggest downside of social media, that we always tend to compare ourselves to everybody, but you always have to keep in mind there's nobody like you, and that is your power. And since I realized that because I'm not like others, that's what makes me special. You know, I always try to like fit in, do the things that others do, and I think to a degree I still kind of do, but not really. I'm so proud of who I am, and it took me a very long time to get there. So, and you know, okay, so when I see Rue, you know, my puppy, and I just look at her and I'm like, she is so perfect in every little way. Like, even her imperfections are perfect. And then I think about, imagine you have a daughter or a son, and you look at them and you see how perfect they are, but they're unhappy because they compare themselves with other like living beings. I mean, that's such a stupid example because I'm talking about a dog, but I know that if I had a daughter or a son, it would make me so sad, because I think every human being is so special in his or her own way. So I think, you know, you should really embrace yourself, just how I finally learned how to embrace myself and my weirdness. And it really, really makes me sad when people think they're not good enough, or that they're, I don't know. It's like I think such an important topic, and one of the biggest topics of my life, because even if I think about my younger self, I think that don't compare yourself. Like, you are enough, and anything that makes you special is amazing. And yeah, I think I could talk about this forever. Yeah, I move on to the next question. Will you retire young? Okay, so I don't get the idea of retiring, because I would never retire, because my philosophy about life is, I think work is actually fulfilling. And even if I had like all the money in the world and I would technically not have to work, I would still work, because I think it's very fulfilling and motivating to create. Not necessarily on social media, but I would always like do something. I would never like fully retire. That sounds actually terrible to me. I want to do things for, you know, for as long as I live. And I would also love to explore a lot of different branches, you know. Maybe one day I will, I don't know, be a movie director and a DJ and a restaurant owner and a bookstore owner and I don't know what. But I think there's so many things in life that I want to try, so I think retiring sounds crazy. Because I think in a traditional sense, people think you work and then you retire, and when you retire you do the things that you love. But I think you should already try to find a work that, you know, has things that offers you things that you love. Yeah. So that's that. If you had to give up your job today, would you go back to finance? You guys are asking good questions. I wouldn't. No, 100% no. I think I'm such an entrepreneur. Maybe I would work in a startup that has to do with finances, for sure. But I would definitely work in a startup. I think I love the startup environment. I love the flexibility, the excitement, the hustle, the struggle. Like, I think in the future, there will be less and less 9-to-5 jobs where you're unhappy. I think it will be more about, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs working in teams, on their mission that will make the world a better place. I really think that the workplace will shift a lot. So, oh my god, we're already at 6 minutes and I only did 3 questions. Okay, I need to be faster. How do you find the motivation to act up on your self-development? I think once you discover what self-development can do for you, you'll never go back. And that is so true. Like, I don't even know how I discovered self-development. You know, when I was studying, I was like, I don't know, I did party a lot. I was not my best self for sure, because I was also not always nice to people. I wasn't like toxic friendships, and I had drama in my life. For example, I don't think that drama is natural. Like, I have 0 drama in my life because I pick my people wisely. And I know there's not always the possibility, for example, if you have drama with your family members, there's not always, you know, the possibility to get rid of these people, but you can always learn how to deal with things, and you can always change your perspective. And what was the question again? Okay, so I got this book, and what was it called? I think it's called Mastering Your Mean Girl, and it's probably a bad book. I think it's probably, like, if I would read it again today, I would be like, oh my god, this is like... But at that time, when I received that book and I read it, and for the first time, like, a whole new world opened to me, because I was like, wait, I don't need to suffer. Like, I don't need to have all these strong emotional reactions. I don't need to deal with drama all the time. I don't need, like, that was just so mind-blowing. And I think once you discover how much being a better human being can do for you, you'll never go back. Honestly, I will never ever stop with self-development, because it's a long way to go, and it's like my life's purpose to become the best version of myself. And I don't even know, like, it seems kind of pointless to me to not work on yourself. I also feel like it gives you a, I don't know, like a sense, like a meaning of life, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm talking. What can we expect from attire? Okay, so our new collection is launching May 18th. And, you know, I'm very critical with everything that I do. I mean, at the same time, I'm also like, I know when to be proud, but I can be proud and work on things, you know what I mean? So I think with this collection, we upgraded our style so much, because even though I loved our first 2 collections, it was still, you know, there was a lot of improvement with the fit and like the whole color way and blah blah blah. And I think this time we really nailed it. It's still not there yet. We will get there one day, but it gets better and better. And I think that's what also excites me so much about attire. We are not standing still. We're not stagnating. Is that even a word? And we will have, like, honestly, the trench coats that Camila, I mean, it's Camila who is behind the designs. I'm the creative director. She's the one putting it to paper, which is like a whole skill. And what she did, I'm just so proud of her and my team, and I really think it only gets better and better. So you can expect a more complete collection. The pieces are more mature. I said, so my feedback after the last collection was that our pieces are kind of sometimes a bit too young, if that makes sense. Which I still like, you know, I mean, I feel young. So I was like, oh, let's do a bit like crop tops and all that. But now it's more mature, and we have a lot of exciting fabrics that are like, this collection is more sustainable than ever, and I'm very excited. So soon, guys. What do you love most about Paris? Honestly, just living in a movie set. It's so like, I feel like I'm in a movie and I'm the main character, you know? We need the main character energy. But every time I step out, I'm like, it's impossible to be blind to this beauty surrounding you. And when I go to Germany and I come back to Paris, I'm like, how is it even possible that cities can look so incredibly different? Or it's not even that Germany looks bad. I'm from Hamburg. Hamburg is beautiful. But the fact that Paris has such an incredible city, like the buildings, everything makes sense. And even the like uglier districts are so lively and interesting. I don't know. I think Paris is an incredibly inspiring city, and I love the people here. It's not that I have a lot of like Parisian friends, but I love seeing the people on the streets. I think Parisians really love to live. And even though with COVID, you could see that people, you know, they don't get miserable. I mean, some do, but not all. And I love seeing people still smiling on the street. I love people seeing with like hope and friends, and it's just uplifting. Yeah, uplifting is a good word. Your way to confidence. I'm very inspired by you, thank you. Confidence, okay, that's also another thing that I have to work on a lot, or that I worked on a lot. And the thing with confidence is that it also starts with self-love, and I go back to what I said in the beginning, that celebrating who you are with everything that you are is so important. And you know, okay, and that's why I love TikTok, because I learned so much on TikTok. But I once saw this TikTok that literally changed my life, because the person was like, you know, when you get into situations and you're always like wondering, will they like me? Am I good enough for them? Blah, blah, blah. And you have to change the perspective. And you have to think, will I like them? Will they be good enough for me? But not in a like arrogant way, but more like, I'm just as good as these people. You know, I'm not below them. And I think the shift, this little shift of perception already creates such a boost in confidence. And I also think that confidence builds on self-trust. And self-trust happens when you do the things that you say you will do. So for example, if I try to accomplish things, even little things, you know, I'm not talking about big things, but like I say, oh, today I'm gonna do this, today I'm gonna meditate, today I'll do this, and I keep breaking my own promise, then of course I will have it's hard to build confidence on disappointing yourself over and over again. So I think it's really important to stick to what you tell yourself, and that's how you slowly build confidence. And I also think confidence is built on past successes, because you prove to yourself, I've done this, I can do it. And that's why I think it's so important to journal and capture your wins, you know, your wins in life, even if it's small, like, hey, I finished school, or I managed to apologize in a situation where it was really hard for me. And like these little things you have to keep in mind. You have to tell yourself all the good things that you've done in your life and build on that. Yeah. What happened to your old assistant? I can't remember the kitchen struggle. I love Marie so much, and honestly, I love, like, every person that I hire is so close to my heart. And I think I have a really special relationship to everybody I work with, because it's not just like a work relationship, it's like a friendship. And she moved back to Canada, so she's still in Canada. She literally moved back and then COVID hit, which sucks, but I understand, you know, when you're from Canada and you come to Paris, and Paris can also be tough, especially with like social life. Not saying that she had a bad social life, but you know, I understand why people would want to move back or away. Like I also don't see myself forever in Paris, even though I love it here. So yeah, she moved back to Canada and I found Ponton, who's like everything. But yeah, the kitchen struggle. My God, guys. How were your teenage years? Okay, so my teenage years were full of soccer, and that's literally what I lived for. I breathed for soccer. I breathed, like, soccer was such a big thing in my life, and I think I always have like a big thing in my life which keeps me motivated, and I wanted to become like a national soccer player, which is so funny. Oh, I was like, is that still recording? But honestly, I was actually really good at soccer. Like I played for my state and I always scored, like, you know, big ego as a teen. I always wrote down my scores. Like I was a forward and I, like in my best season, I did 80 goals, and like there were games where we played where I would score, like we would win 5-0, I would score all 5 goals. So of course I wrote it down. Like I was so, like soccer was my life. So that's all I had, and I had amazing friends. I had such incredible childhood friends, and I kid you not, almost every single day I think about them and I thank them for making me who I am today. I think I got so lucky with my childhood friends, even though I don't stay in touch with them anymore. I am so grateful that I had them in my life, and I dream of them, which is so crazy. Like my best friend from primary school, I still dream of her, and I don't know, I love her so much, even though we haven't talked to each other in like, I don't know, like 7 years or something. What would you study if you had to choose now? Okay, if I had to study again, I would not go for like a special degree, because I don't think it really matters. I would go for a school. I would go for the school experience. Like, I think college experience is so freaking fun, but there's also something wrong with like the whole educational system, not in Germany, but especially in America, because I think, okay, I would really love to study in America, but the whole like student debt thing, that's a big issue, and it's not normal. Like there needs to be a whole like restructuring of the system, because it's not normal to graduate and have so much debt. Like debt is not normal, and it's so crazy how it gets normalized in the United States. Yeah, but I would love to, you know, I've always dreamed of doing my master's degree in Harvard or NYU. Maybe one day. Maybe I'm the one who like with 45 decides, let's go to Harvard. Who knows? How long do you still plan to live in Paris? I don't know. At least another year. But then I think, I don't know, like who knows? Life is full of surprises, like who knows? Oh my God, you guys. I discovered this YouTube channel of this girl who lives literally in a cabin in the woods. And it's so incredible to watch. Like, it gave me so much peace, and I was like, you know what? If everything goes downhill, I would just move to a little cabin in the woods or by the beach or wherever and just live with nature. You know, do that, what's his name? Thorough move. And it gave me so much peace. So who knows? Maybe I just get a farm somewhere and just live with nature. Who knows? What's your favorite arrondissement in Paris? Oof, that's so hard. I really love the right bank. I'm not a, like, I used to live in Saint-Germain, which is like posh, but there's literally nothing to do. So all the time I would go on the, like, to the right bank. And I really love the Marais. I love the Marais. I especially love like the part between the 3rd and the 4th. Like if I could move again, I would, like, it would be my dream to find an apartment there. I love that area. I also love the 2nd. I love the 9th and the 10th. I think they have really cool spots. And you know, I went to the 17th for a COVID test and I was like, this is so nice. Like the 17th is actually nice, even though it's a bit further out, but it's so beautiful and like kind of quiet. Do you drink alcohol? If so, how often? I do drink alcohol. I'm like a party girl. I wonder if this will ever go away. I mean, I party way less than I used to. Like during my college, I would literally go out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Like no joke, it was so bad. Like when I think about it, it disgusts me. But at the same time, I had the best time. Like me and my friends, we had so much fun. So I wouldn't change it. And I love partying. Like, but I don't drink, like, it's not like every time for dinner I would drink, you know? And also during the pandemic, I never drank. Like all my friends, they would like get drunk with their partner or by themselves, and that's something I don't do that. Do you feel different being 30? It's like funny because I kind of do, but at the same time I'm like, no, I do feel different. Because you know, when you turn 30, you're like, you stop with that bullshit. You really feel like, it's not like time is running because I think 30 is still young, but I really started to mute so many people on Instagram. I don't deal with so much like bullshit with, I don't know, stuff. Because I'm like, I'm 30, I don't need that bullshit in my life. How do you have such skin like yours without pimples? So I stopped taking the birth control in January. We have May. So let's see. They say after 4 to 6 months, it starts breaking out. So far, I'm good. I'm not wearing makeup today because Sunday is my makeup free day. But you know what? I want to be honest with you. I remember when I was younger and I would look on Tumblr or MySpace and I would see all these girls with like perfect skin and I was like praying to God. I'm like, please give me the skin. I'm like dying to have the skin because I had really bad skin. And I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm saying that a lot of it has to do with genetics. And a lot of it has to do with your environment and your lifestyle. Like before you buy, of course, care is also important and creams and all that help. But before you spend all this money on all the creams that are out there, really try to change your nutrition. Because I believe, like, everybody knows how much nutrition has an impact on us. But still, people think they need to fix the problem instead of fixing what caused, like what's causing your skin to break out in the first place. And it has always to do with nutrition and hydration. So yeah, I believe in that. I really believe in, even though, oh my God, I'm sorry that I talk so unstructured, but I'm just saying out what I'm thinking. And I'm like, wait, I'm not eating that healthy, but I think overall I do. Do you prefer living in Germany or Paris? Honestly, so much more in Paris. I love being in Paris so much. And honestly, I do not see myself in Germany. I just don't. I love to visit. I love my people there. I love so much about Germany and I know like the system is amazing, da da da. I don't know. I just don't see myself there right now. I see myself going back and forth, you know? Maybe between Germany, Paris, New York, or something like that. What's your opinion on other fair fashion brands like Daria D? I think Daria is like one of the few people that I know who take sustainability as serious as I do. But she also, she also keeps it real. She's not like one of these people who are so extreme I mean, she's kind of extreme, but in a good way. But I feel like so many people are doing greenwashing, and I appreciate about her that she is not one of these people, and that's why I also appreciate her label. And I'm so into like this whole topic. I have so much knowledge that I don't talk enough about on my Instagram, but I see when people are bullshitting. So I know she's actually an expert because she knows things that a lot of people don't know. So yeah, I support that. I support everybody who, you know, who's keeping it real and tries to do better. Do you think COVID changed your life for the better? I mean, this is a weird question because clearly I would have preferred if people would not have died in the masses that they did because of COVID. So I wouldn't say that COVID is a good thing. However, I'm saying that the pause that it, you know, forced me to take was the best thing that happened to me. I feel like my self-development accelerated to like a tenfold over this amount of time, and I changed so much. Like every day I journal, I'm like, oh my god, it's so crazy to think about what kind of person I was like right before COVID started and where I am now, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm really proud of myself, even though it took me like a really long time, like almost a year. I'm really proud how it has made me so much more calm, so much happier, so much more content. I used to be, you know, I think that's also another question, so we'll talk about it later, but you know, reactivity really shows whether you're doing well or not, and I used to be so reactive, and now I'm just so chill. Like, I'm even more chill than my boyfriend. Not always, but like, he's so chill. If I say I'm more chill, then that really means something. What's the weirdest encounter you had with a celebrity? Okay, so I actually had so many celebrity encounters, from Harry Styles to The Weeknd to Leonardo DiCaprio, and I want to talk about something. So when I was in LA like 4 years ago, I went to an after party. I mean, I went to after parties all the time, and it was honestly, it was normal to see all these celebrities. It was just normal. Like, for us from Europe, it's like so crazy, but in LA, people don't even care. But like this one time, I was at an after party at Leonardo DiCaprio, and we were like a lot of people. We were hanging out in his cinema room, and then I was tipsy, so I did a terrible, stupid thing, and I snapped his Oscar, and I uploaded it on, I don't know, Snapchat back then. But then people would start these crazy rumors. Oh my god, it was so wild. I mean, the next morning I woke up, I deleted it. I was like, holy shit, like, I was just at an after party. But the rumors were crazy, so I'm here to tell you that I was just hanging out, but like, oh my god, the rumors. Anyway, if you're a person that spread the rumor, now you know nothing happened. And I actually have so many celebrity encounters that are really fun, so maybe I will do a video on that. How many really, really close friends do you have? I think I have about, I don't know, like a handful, but I have, you know, I feel like all friends are different. Like, I have my friends that I've known for like years and years, like 10 years, 8 years. Those are really like it's like family. They're basically family to me. But I also have friends that I met recently, but they're like so dear to my heart. So I think you have different kinds of friends. And I also think you don't have to have a lot of friends. Like, it's okay if you only have a handful of friends, and then you have a lot of people that you get along with and that you like, you know? I think it's so old-fashioned to think about, oh my god, I need like 30 friends, and especially now that I really learned to love being with myself, I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't live without friends. Like, I'm a very social person, but I really love spending time with me as well. Do you have pinch me moments when you realize how successful you are? This question made me laugh because I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not successful. Like, I mean, if you define success by the traditional means, it's like, yeah, I guess I am kind of successful, but I don't think about how many followers I have or how much money I make. I think about what I want to accomplish in life, and I think about what I'm capable of, and I'm so far away from that I'm like, I feel like I'm in baby shoes, you know what I mean? I mean, Forbes was a big deal for me, but like when it comes to social media or money, I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. And I think that's also the reason why it's so easy for me to talk about money, because I'm like, it doesn't like really mean, it doesn't define my worth, you know? But my worth is defined, I mean, through my definition, by what do I make out of my life? Do I live it to the fullest? Do I live up to my promises that I give myself? Do I continuously improve myself? And I feel like there's still so much work to do that I wouldn't even call myself successful. But when it comes to like values, I would say I'm pretty successful. I think I have good values and I live up to them. I think no person is like 100%, how do you call it? Integrity. I think no person has 100% integrity. So I also don't see that I would never say that I'm perfect when it comes to my values, but I know what I'm aiming for, and I think my values are at the right place. Whatever, I'm like, maybe I should edit this video because I'm so, my brain is all over the place. What's your opinion on drugs? Okay, so I was so anti-drugs. Like, I remember when I had it in school, and like there was this whole, like we had to do presentations about how terrible drugs are, and if you take drugs you'll die, like that's it. And we were so brainwashed. I still think drugs are dangerous. Like I don't think you should go out there and just try drugs, no. But you know, after I went to Burning Man, I saw all these people like with drugs, and I learned so much about drugs, especially psychedelic drugs. And if you look at stats, it's really interesting to see that alcohol is so fucking dangerous, but still we pretend like it's not. And alcohol is actually the most dangerous drug. And if you look at psychedelic drugs, I still think there are risks. I think there are definitely risks and stories where it went like wrong. But if you read about psychedelic drugs, it's actually so interesting. And you know, they are trying to find actually therapies with psychedelic drugs. And I remember this one story. So it was this professor, he lectured at Harvard, Columbia. He's like really smart. And I saw him talk when I went to Burning Man, and like he started like the same thing that I'm telling you right now, and I'm like, oh my god, what an idiot. Like, how can he be so smart and at the same time glorify drugs? But then he said that they actually do controlled studies. Like, he's the first person to be allowed to do like legal studies with controlled psychedelic drugs. And they had a soldier and somebody who suffered from PTSD, and he went to war. His best friend died like next to him, and he saw it and he was traumatized, and he said, he came back, he's like, my life has no sense anymore. Like, I don't want to live. This is so unfair. Why did he die? I don't want to live. And then I did this drug experiment on him, and he saw his friend, and the friend talked to him and was like, you're so lucky to be alive. Please live for me. I can't like retell the story in a good way, but the point was, after he had that experience, he was like a changed person. And that story really touched me, because I was like, this is so interesting. So I love to read about it, but by all means, if you do drugs, learn everything about them. Knowledge is power. Learn everything about drugs before you decide to do anything. And that's on psychedelic drugs. I would never say that any other drugs are by any means good or could be helpful. What do you do if you don't feel comfortable in your body? Okay, so Years back, I suffered from a very crazy eating disorder.
Du fragst nach dem Song Crazy Town, richtig?
No. Oh my god, that was so scary. Best tip you've ever gotten about life and success? You know what? I don't believe in these things that, oh, this one advice will, you know, change everything that you do. I think it's a continuous walk, a continuous work, and continuous inspiration. So I think there's always quotes for a period of your life. I know it's not very helpful, but I just want to be real. And I think the best tip for a 21-year-old, because this girl is 21, I would say really, really live your life. Like, don't have this idea in mind that you have to have it all figured out and that you have to be ahead of others or that you are behind others and you need to catch up. Have fun. Like, honestly, I think the 20s are there to have fun, to fuck up, to do the mistakes that you do in life. And if you miss that period in your life, I would feel sorry for you. How to not base your worth on boys. Girl. What can they do for you? That's what you have to ask. Is he good enough for you? So, sis, if he's not replying or is dumping you, or then he's not good enough for you. That's it. Happiest day in your life apart from Forms 30. Okay, I think I had a lot of really happy days, but I think the one that I still remember like really vividly was last year when I came back to Paris. That was a whole nother level of happiness. Like walking through Paris, oh my god, I literally cried because I was so happy. But I cry a lot when I'm happy, so. Do you regret anything in life? We're already at almost 40 minutes, so I will have this as the last question. We will do another one of these soon, because, you know, a lot of questions. So, do you regret anything in life? I would say no. Of course, there are some things where I'm like, oh my god, did I really say this? Or did I really do this? Was I really that rude? Where I'm like, I wish I hadn't done this, but at the same time, if I hadn't done these things, would I be the same person that I am today? And the answer is no, most likely not. So I really embrace every step of my life, even if it was a negative one, because it made me to who I am today and who I will become in the future. And I think everything happens for a reason, and even though there are things that I'm not proud of, I don't think it's a bad thing in hindsight. And anyway, it's so pointless to be regretful because you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. So the only thing you can change is your perspective on it. So I used to be so rude and I feel so bad when I think about it. But maybe that's why I'm like really kind today. Okay, oh my god, I'm not sure if we have to edit this because it's so long and I'm a bad talker. I'm sorry guys, but love you. See you soon. Bye.